Okay, hey, and welcome to another ICH2 video. It's been a little while, that's quite true, but I am back and I'm doing just a really short, nice, simple little video today. Honestly, be really quick, really little. It's on the magazines. It's on the magazines that surround the hobby. As you can see, there's an absolute massive pile of Hornby magazines here because this is the one magazine that I buy all the time. I do occasionally buy Railway Modeller or Model Rail and even sometimes Continental Modeller, but this is the one that I buy every month without fail. And it doesn't matter what magazine you buy, whether it is any of those, the principle is exactly the same. After a while, you end up with a whopping great big pile of magazines, just like this. And they take up a lot of room and they're really heavy. Oh, gosh, that's even heavier than the Helge Kestrel. Yes, very heavy. Now, obviously, for some people, they have to keep them, they have to store them all. But for the majority of people, that's not a practical option. You can't do that. So what's the best thing you can do? Well, if you have a little pad of post-it notes, and a pen, in true Blue Peter fashion, you can do this. Ta-da! This is what I did earlier. Well, I actually did it weeks ago, but I've just about got it out now to show you. You can see that I've basically gone through this pile of magazines, and I have post-it noted. Does that sound right? I don't know. Well, who cares? Anything that's interesting. For example, operations. So we have an article here in this particular issue on operations, designing operations. So, for example, shunting and using pilot locos and stuff like that. Really important, and watch out for a video on that coming up in conjunction with Streamline Trains and his dad. And for example, this one, well, that's not got many on it, but this one has. This has got a couple. We can see here that there's an article on how to ballast and colour track, and an article on yet more weathering. So if we open this one at this particular page, you can see that it's all about track. I can't show you too much because of copyright and stuff, although I'm sure that the magazine doesn't mind. And then of course on this one, we've got weathering. Look at that, look at all the sprays and the powders and stuff. So this is basically what I recommend you do. You need to go through your magazines, whether they're Model Rail, Hornby Magazine, Railway Modeller, whatever they are, and really decide, be quite hard-nosed about it. What do you want to keep and what do you not want to keep? So if we bring back our pile of magazines that I've yet to do, let's just start flicking through this one, okay? So you've got the introduction and then you've got the news section. You don't need to worry about the news section because news goes out of date very quickly. So unless you're really hardcore, you don't need to keep anything because of the news section. Competition, and then we go on to a layout. Now, this is a very nice layout. They're all very nice, aren't they? Which is why they get into the magazines. But unless you're going to build your layout, almost a carbon copy, there's not really a need to keep a magazine just because of a layout that's featured. Obviously, if it's your layout, you might want to keep it. But if it's not, then you might not be interested in keeping hold of it. So let's just move on. I'm going to have to stop because there's a plane going overhead. Okay, now I'm back. For real. I've been interrupted by a low-flying aircraft, just like the olden days. So there it is, people. It's official. ICH2 is definitely back. Anyway, we've got an issue here all about snow. Really interesting. How to model snow and how to make it look realistic. Really useful. So that's something you might want to keep. And then it comes on to an article about designing a layout in the loft. So again, that's something you might want to keep. There's even something on how to build an LNER bogie brick wagon here. So basically, once you find an article that's interesting, that you want to keep, that you want to come back to later, because you might not be ready to do this yet. I'm certainly not. But you might be. And so what you do, just grab your little post-it note and your pen, and remember, write down this edge here, and then just put something like, I don't know, snow scenery. Like that, okay? So snow scenery, then what you do is just take that top one off, turn the magazine on its side, position it so that it just about sticks out. Don't worry about this damaging the paper. Post-it notes are designed to not damage it. See, you can do that millions of times. Well, you can't because the glue will wear off, but it will never damage the magazine, so you're totally safe. And then if we slam it shut, there you go. Well, it'd help if I didn't show it upside down. Snow scenery. So there you go, you've got another one done, added to the collection, which you can just put it in the pile there and move on. So if we move on to this second magazine in the pile, Engage Wagon stuff, that's quite useful. There's an article on the Bay of Garrett's there. Once you've read it, you don't really need to keep it, do you? Unless, again, you're really hardcore or there's something dead interesting. There's something on building Great Western branch lines. Very, very nice, very useful. So that, again, is going to have to be kept. So you open the article on the first page of the article, not the magazine, and then you put something like GWR branch lines. Don't worry about it being dead neat or dead fancy. Just do it however you want. Do it in your style. Just like that. And then a bit further on, you might see another article. I'm hoping there's going to be one now. There's an article there on a particular layout. Here we go. DCC control. Now, this isn't something I want to keep, but I'm going to pretend it is, just to show you what happens when you have more than one article. Again, just do the same thing. So put in DCC control. It's not about that, it's actually about fitting chips to different size locos. But it doesn't matter, I'm just showing you how to do it. So roughly line up where the post-it note's got to go. Stick it a bit further down the page, just like that. And then when you close it, look at that. They're not matching up perfectly, but it doesn't matter. And you can do this if you've got more time and make it perfect. I'm rushing. However, then you'll get to a magazine eventually that you don't want to keep. You flip through it, you flip through the news section. Yeah, very good. We read this, a year ago or 2 years ago. The adverts are nearly always the same, so you don't need to worry about them. It's a very nice article on this particular layout. Very, very interesting. But once you've read it and you've looked at it, you don't really need to keep it. Weathering wagons. This is something I just want to talk about quickly. You'll notice in my pile here that weathering appears twice. I've already saved 2 articles on how to weather. And that's something you'll notice with any magazine. After a while, they repeat themselves. It's not just railway magazines, it's computer magazines, gardening magazines. There's only so much to talk about, So after a while, you'll see things come round again. So you don't need to keep all of them. So we don't need to keep that. I've read loads of articles on weathering. And there's something on how to make a corkscrew. That's not something I'm going to be doing. This is the ratio kit, the GWR ratio kit. I'm not going to be building it. And if I am, by the time I do, there'll probably be another article on it. So basically, I've already flipped through this before I started filming. And there's nothing in this particular magazine that I want to keep. Yes, that's the sound of a plane going over, but I'm refusing to stop. I'm just going to carry on because I'm hungry and I want to have dinner soon. So basically, here we have an article a magazine that we don't want to keep. And so this is going to shock some people because, lovers of magazines will class this as murder, but it's important to recycle. And so it's very, very simple. Just tear down like that, and then grab a few pages, tear again, grab a few more, tear again, a few more, and then we're nearly done. There we go. And then if you want to be really, really OCD about it and environmental friendly, you can just tear them in half again, like that. And even in the front of the magazine, it does say, please do this. Once you've finished, once you've enjoyed the magazine, it's important to recycle. So there we go. There we have one particular Hornby magazine ready to put in the paper recycler. And you've got a whole load of magazines still to go through. And you've got a whole load ready to go on your shelf, in your collection somewhere, as future reference to come back to when you need it. And that's it. It's only a short one. I said it'd be dead simple. There's going to be a much bigger video coming up this weekend. I'm doing a review. I'm doing what I do best. Thank you for watching.